Hello everyone! Be sure to sub because you're gonna get the most in-depth, efficient, and informative Breath of Fire 2 Let's Play you will ever see. Have you ever wondered why running away is so difficult? Have you ever wondered just how many bugs there are in this game? Well, you can find it all right here thanks to a fine fellow called Nitrodon. So let's all give a big hand to... Oh dear. Skyzo, have you ever seen a script start sucking in 0 seconds?
Well, the only problem I have with that is that the T's look like J's.
They are J's.
Oh, they are?
Yeah. Suffice it to say, we are not going to be playing the official localized version. Instead, we are going to play the retranslation by a guy called ryuu. The dialogue is significantly improved. The characterization sticks out much more, and they added in Dragon Force to the intro. They didn't even have an intro before, but they do now!
Alright, so this is completely custom. That's interesting.
Indeed. Now, the base version of this patch comes with the Japanese commercial song. This Dragon Force you have here is a later overpatch that ryuu added in. It's not on romhacking.net, but I'll put a link to it in the description, so you can enjoy it too. Also, as you can see, the T's still sort of look a little like J's, but you can at least see the resemblance now.
Yeah, those look better.
And now the game itself.
Sure.
Alright, so this is ryuu. Fun fact, if you just choose start without putting in any letters, the game will choose that name automatically. I just did it manually, I don't know why. Also, we're gonna use opaque because if you use transparent, you're gonna see the background through the dialogue, and I find that irritating.
Alright.
Oh man, do you hear this music, Skyzo?
Does sound a bit ominous.
Does. I really wonder what it's all about, you know, Uh-oh.
I imagine this is the ancient evil or something.
Unfortunately, no. He's not even the main villain. There's someone even worse. God!
So he's just called God.
Yup. For most of the game, anyway. And that was like that even in the official localization. They even added in some swear words at a time when Nintendo was usually afraid to even show words like holy. They had to use Pearl.
That's unusual to say the least.
It is. Maybe the translation was so bad that guys that approved it just didn't understand anything that was going on.
I imagine that's what happened.
Yeah, see, before Breath of Fire 2, Capcom had Nintendo's help in localizing their titles, and by the way, you're gonna want to check this closet to get a wooden rod. That's gonna be important later on, so make sure you get that while we're here. Anyways, when Breath of Fire 2 came around, Capcom decided to split off from Nintendo and publish the game themselves. They decided, you know, Woolsey's pretty cool, but we can do better than him. We don't need his help translating the script. They were wrong, of course, and Well, that's why we have the retranslation. Anyways, we gotta go find our sister, Yua.
Alright.
If your mother were to care for Yua, maybe she wouldn't be doing this? I wonder what that... Ah, okay, we lost our mother. Bummer.
What's unfortunate?
So do you know... So do you see that colored jewel on the upper right of the text box?
I do. Looks like a decoration, but it could be something else.
That's... Well, it's mainly a foreshadowing device, but it's pretty cool all the same. Basically, if it's bright blue, the person really likes you. If it's yellow, they're neutral. And if it's like a deep scarlet red, they hate you or are evil. And there's a color below red, but only for the guys that are really depraved or just flat out demons. We will get to that as it becomes pertinent. But in any case, you have to talk to this woman before you can move on. Otherwise, there'll be a bush in your way. So if you don't talk to any of these other guys, make sure you at least talk to that woman who tells you that Yua is in the forest. Also, a big warning, and I'm going to intentionally fall into this trap for the sake of having a good walkthrough, but that herb that I'm going to get here, do not get it. There is a bug in the game where that same treasure somehow occupies 2 chests. And that later chest, that second one, has 100 zenny that you can get. But if you get that healing herb, you lock yourself out of getting that 100 zenny, which I will show you later. So don't get it like I did.
Right.
Also unwinnable boss fight, so I'm just gonna screw around for a bit. I like his defend animation, where he just pumps his arms. But yeah, just let yourself get knocked around a bit, and you'll be rescued by Father Goner. Commendable behavior, if not a commendable performance. Man, it stinks starting a new game.
So I imagine that for every new game you'd have to sit through the tutorial like this?
Yeah. And the retranslation, of course, beefed up the script, because in the original translation, text box limitations or space limitations kind of cut it down a bit. That happened a lot in old games, but this one, the script here is about 1.5 times larger, and by the way, here's a still from the Game Boy Advanced version. They added in about 3 to 4 of those in that version, so decided to include it here.
Right, so those were not in the originals?
They were not. Actually, let's talk about that. About the versions. There's 2 versions of this game. There's the Super Nintendo version and the Game Boy Advance version. Now, obviously the Game Boy Advance version has worse graphics and sound. So that's a problem. But the other thing about the Game Boy Advance version is that it doubled the experience you get from all enemies. And it also tripled your gold. So I have to do a walkthrough based on the Super Nintendo version, which otherwise, if I did it on the Game Boy Advance version, the strategies just wouldn't work for you Super Nintendo guys. So that's why I'm doing this version, so that both of you will succeed with the strats I use and recommend.
Alright, sounds simple enough.
Yeah. And here is a dialogue box. You can say, yes, I'm beat, I'll sleep, or no, I'm wired. If you say yes, you'll get this short still of this creepy guy, but it doesn't matter what you choose. It's technically faster to just say, no, I'm wired, and just head back. Although the plot does get a little weird if you do that, for reasons I'll get to later.
Alright, well, interesting game so far.
By the way, notice that jewel. Do you notice something a bit, different about it?
Well, looks like some people don't like you.
I wonder why, though. I mean, we lived here. Why are they accusing us of being strangers? Why are they being so rude? Dang.
I have no idea, I'm confused.
And for that matter, why is it color all of a sudden? Everything was grayscale before.
I don't know, maybe it was a dream.
Oh wow, look at that one. That one's red.
That's more of a pink or purple.
Well, regardless, it's not good. Well, maybe our father's in here. Or maybe not. It's Papa Hulk! Not kidding either. That's literally how the old translation spelled his name. Orphans, drunkards, criminals, harlots, all of society's refuse. We're just so open with everyone in this house of God. Isn't that great, Skyzo? Aren't they just so welcoming?
I think I see the connection that you were talking about, that you were alluding to.
Also, I am Christian myself, but it's just a video game, so any jokes I make in regards to that are all in good fun. Don't you worry about a thing. Also, hey, look at the dragon tier. Bright blue.
I think this is the first person who likes you, right?
Well, I mean, Papa Goner did, obviously, but we didn't see his crystal before. Sometimes the crystal shows up, sometimes it doesn't.
Well, I'll say that the crystal is a smart, device. I like it.
But yellow means neutral. Like, they don't hate you. You're just a person to them. Stranger. Oh, he doesn't like being judged.
I imagine we'll see a lot of that. Color changes, that's smart.
I like it too. So, last chance to get that tree rod or wooden rod. Be sure you get that. And yeah, sometimes I'll get the old translation and retranslation terms mixed up, for better or worse. In the description, I'll try to be clear about any names that might be confusing.
Right. Also, is that boy wearing a mask? Why does he look like a dog?
Because he's a dog.
Really?
Yeah, he just is.
Oh, that's a weird
It's
one.
just a thing, and that's Breath of Fire. You just be cats, dogs, living together. It's no big thing. Better get out of this weather! Let's go back to the village! Or maybe not. Okay. Hey Skyzo, do you know what the smart thing to do is when you're in a pitch black cave? And the very next thing that you see when you go up is a monstrous tail.
Well, of course you'd follow it.
Exactly. See, this is why you're my co-commentator. And if you try to leave, boss just forces you to go on and move on with the plot.
These are some brave kids.
They are.
It's either that or they have some death
Well-
wish.
Well, I mean, they did just kind of lose their whole family. I mean, Papa Goner is gone, Yua is gone, and everyone hates us now. Don't know what that's about. Uh-oh. Oh, he's dead. Uh-oh. Deep purple. That is a really bad color right there.
Right, I imagine, yeah, I thought it would be like a black.
Well, I think for some reason games kind of struggled to do black back then. Like, Final Fantasy VII, Cloud was supposed to have a black soldier uniform, but instead it's purple.
Well, the thing about black is that you... Like, I don't know, man. There's only so much you can do with it. And as with purple, you have this kind of this symbolism, right? It like means corruption and whatnot.
Yeah. Also, this text here, by far the best English text in the official localization. And even the Japanese version. Because the Japanese version had this whole intro in English, and just had, like, subtitles, I think. Stylistic thing, because they love the look of English letters. The funny consequence of that is that this opening crawl is the only thing that's the absolute same across all versions.
It's a nice little tidbit. I'm not sure how they're both alive, though.
Well, I don't know. Maybe the demon wants to torture us a little more. You know?
I don't know, it seems a little
See?
far-fetched.
See, he succumbs and the darkness welcomes him. Ryu's turning evil. What can I say?
Oh, he's being transformed.
Ryu is the one. And he realizes it's true. Ryu is evil. Or you could be referring to the fated child thing. Also, what is this place?
I like it.
Well, there's that opening theme we heard in the official version.
It's a good theme.
And now the game truly begins. Birth of Fire! Not Breath of Fire. Birth of Fire. 2.
How did they mess this up?
Well, I think it's supposed to be an A, but it's just really jagged and weird.
It does not look an A at all.
Yeah, I guess even the retranslation couldn't fix that one.
Right? Like, that's up there with those animations in the Ninja Gaiden games.
Oh, come on, that was only Ninja Gaiden 3.
Right, right. Only that one.
Yeah. Anyways, we just skipped ahead 10 years, and I guess we're taking odd jobs now. Change of pace.
Man, he looks so weird. Like that dog person. He looks like he has, he tore a face from somebody and he's wearing it.
So what do you think about the one with wings?
That one's a little better. I can believe that.
Right. Well, doesn't look like we're taking our job. Oh. Oh look, the dog person changed his mind. Why the change of heart? Who can say?
I do like the
Anyways, we're
graphics in
gonna
this game.
Like I said, they are beautiful. Especially for the era.
Yeah, for like you'd think this would be a modern like thing.
Not sure I'd go that far, but maybe. I like this line. The same way you do everything else. Shamelessly. If there's such a thing as karma in this world, you're gonna need the luck. Now, before you head out, make sure you get this here life... Oh, okay. After this guy. Make sure you get this LifePL or Ammonia, depending on the translation, because it's like a full max revive in Pokemon, but we don't need it that badly right now, so we're gonna sell it for 500. 250 Zenny for what we do really need badly. More equipment and more herbs.
Man, of all the names, it would pick Ammonia.
Well, that's what Breath of Fire 3 called it. The retranslation made it a point to borrow terminology from that game. I don't know if it's accurate, but it's consistent.
But why Ammonia? It doesn't have anything to do with medicine.
Darn it, Skyzo, I'm a gamer, not a doctor or a scientist. I don't know what to tell you. Yeah, about that month's rent. Why don't we get back to you on that? We're a little, in the red.
Oh, he looks a lot better like this when you can see his face.
Yeah. Those freaky bird things on Mount Futabi? They ate the little kitty Fido? Oh man, I hope they didn't get the little pig Susie. Heck, for that matter, I hope they don't get my dog. Anyways, it looks like that's where we're headed next. This is where Mina is staying. And it turns out she's seeing someone in secret? A boyfriend? Huh. Interesting. But yeah, actually what we're here for is an antidote. We are broke as heck, as you could see from our convo with the landlady, so we're gonna need every little scrap we can get. Which is why we're gonna sell our wooden rod, our ammonia. That'll get us up to a cool 300 zenny. We're gonna buy up to 11 herbs, and then, if we were smart enough to avoid that herb in the upper house, we would get an iron band and a bronze sword for Ryuu right now, using a little something called the trade command. You see, when you use trade, it takes the difference between the price of your previous piece of equipment and the one you're trying to buy. So long as that difference is low enough, you can just equip it without having to outright buy it at full price. The only shame of it is that I can't get the iron band right now.
Okay, interesting.
Yeah. Now, the only thing we're really missing from the iron band is like 2 points of defense, which isn't nothing, but it's definitely not necessary. Like, it's not gonna make the difference between winning and losing, because the early game's kind of rough no matter what you do. So I want to show you that you can do this opening part without the 100 zenny, because you're gonna make up for that later on. So, hopefully that makes sense.
Alright.
Also, this dragon god, he was a big thing in the first game, but now a millennia has passed and he's fallen out of favor in favor of this new god, or Lord Eva. So it's a mythology reference to the first game. You don't need to have played the first game in order to have get the story of this one, but you'll get neat mythology gags here and there.
Right, those clerks look like ducks. I like them.
Now, before I end this episode, I'm going to show you a little something called the trade glitch or the switch glitch. You need 6 of these conches or earthworms or shrimps. Either one will work, it doesn't really matter, but you need 6 of them in order to get the full mileage out of the glitch I'm going to show you soon. It's exclusive to the Super Nintendo version too, so don't try to do it on Game Boy Advance. Not that you need to, that version is really easy, but just keep that in mind. Also, you want Ryu in the second slot before you try and do this. I'll explain why later.
Right, I imagine somebody's gonna be joining our party soon.
That's kinda to do with it. Actually, what we're really doing is we're accessing a future party member's inventory before they actually join. And by doing that, we're gonna clone ourselves infinite money and give said party member an absurdly busted weapon. Or rather, I'm showing you how to do that. We're not doing that in the actual playthrough for obvious reasons. Anyway, what's happening here is by pressing A and B during the trade menu, the game freaks out and starts trying to read the weapon of the 4th character. But the 4th character doesn't have a weapon equipped because he hasn't joined us yet. Instead, the game is accidentally reading his condition stat. His starting condition is 160 in decimal, so the game takes that, converts it to hex, and the result is the same value as an item called the Benedonti. Everyone else starts at like 96 condition, which translates to a weapon that doesn't sell nearly as much. You do still want to replace their weapons with conches at some point though, because when you put 6 of something in there, the game reads that as hex item 06, a moon drop, but somehow in the weapon slot. Moon drops heal everyone up to full HP and restore all status ailments, even when the person is dead. It revives them. But it doesn't stop there, because then the game has to determine if there are any special properties to the weapon. And for that, bit 0 is Holy Elemental, and bit 6 means it can attack twice. So obviously, it's a holy weapon that can attack twice. But then a separate process has to determine if it's a weapon or item, determines it's an item, and items are assigned hex value 40. Again, this is a separate process, so the 06 doesn't come into play. And then that gets morphed into 64 by being converted to decimal, because the game's still trying to figure out what attack power it has. So long story short, the game is freaking out, trying to pull numbers from places it shouldn't be pulling them from, and you get a super busted weapon in the slot of the character who's not in your party as a result. The other thing that's important is that the 6 conches have to be at the top of your inventory because the cursor defaults to the top slot. And as for me depositing the gold, don't worry, that's not more glitch stuff. I'm just doing that because it'd be a shame to lose all that money to an untimely death after spending so much time getting it. That was a lot. You get all that okay, Skyzo?
I do, and that number was 1.8 million.
Was it now?
Yeah.
Now, obviously, we are not going to be taking advantage of that for this walkthrough, for understandable reasons. I don't have a lot of limitations like that, but that's one I am drawing the line at. So in any case, join me for the game's first dungeon, and God bless y'all!
Alright, I'll see you later, you two.
Bye!